My name is Myra Talwar and I am performing the Grade 3 Solo Digital Speech and Drama exam. My first task is the prose from the book Unraveled by Shannon Messenger. This is officially my new happy place, Keith said as he sank into a giant pile of pillows and took a huge bite of some sort of fancy chocolate cake, which felt like a particularly bold statement given the reason he was in London and its rather depressing history there, since it was possible his mother had killed two people living in the same town. But he was developing a special kind of love for this foggy city and all the people and foods and sights within it. Didn't hurt that his day was turning out to be made of wind. Not only had the flat white given him so energy, he probably could have run 3 of those marathon things back to back, but that little visualization trick, it worked. Now he turned down to the busiest street to make sure nothing changed when he was around a bigger crowd. And thankfully, the emotions remained a harmless buzzing, which his brain was more than happy to ignore. It made him want to pump his fists and jump around, yelling a bunch of particularly saucy taunts at Mommy Dearest and her little cloak-wearing buddies. Sure, he still had his other weird abilities to deal with, but it felt like he was finally making some real progress. Part of him wanted to sprint back to the park, find the jogger, and hug him across the grass. Or at least get his name so he could write an epic ballad in his honor. But he'd have to settle for adding another grateful portrait in his sketchbook. And he'd have to make sure to credit him for the awesome hotel recommendation. The building looked a little plain from the outside, and the inside had the weird sort of human fanciness, where all the furniture looked super rigid and uncomfortable, and everything was decorated with flowers. But when he got to his room, whoa! He asked for the nicest one they had available, figuring, why not? Daddy Dearest is paying for it. And he ended up in a suite that felt like his own private apartment, with multiple bedrooms and huge windows overlooking a park. Now, I will perform my second piece, the poem written by Nobel Prize winner Rabindranath Tagore. I was then of tender age and slight, like wingless bird. My frame was ever so light. From neighboring rooftops, pigeon flocks would rise, and crows on our balcony rails would utter raucous cries. From across the street came the hawker's cry, his gumcha-covered fish basket full of topsy fry. There was Dada on the terrace, his vision fixed afar, his violin turned to strains of the evening star. Casting English books aside, to Buddhi we'd race, a red bordered sari framing her lovely face, hiding her keys in a flower pot like a prankster from hell. I would test her temper and her love for me as well. Kishori Chatterjee would arrive at nightfall. In his left hand, a hookah. On his shoulder, a shawl. The tale of love and kush he would recite at speed. To my textbooks and notes, I paid no longer heed. How I wished that by whatever means at hand, I could somehow join a minstrel band, traveling with my songs from place to place. I wouldn't have a care about examinations to face. When the school day was over, homewards I'd go. And from a rooftop, see the clouds hanging low. In torrents of rain, the street was sunk. The pipes sprouted like air was drunk. In the darkness, I listened to the music of the rain and thought of the prince lost in boundless terrain. Of Gunion, Mississippi, and Yankstican I heard. The mountains and rivers on maps appeared. The known, the half known, and the far, far away. Wove a web of many colors, so bright and gay. A myriad movements and sounds of myriad kinds. A flimsy universe encircled by my mind. And in that universe, my thoughts would lightly glide, like birds underneath a cloud or flotsam on a tide. Now, I will perform my third task, which is the expressive reading task from the book Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. I couldn't remember the last time I had so much fun. I came from a relatively poor family. Our idea of a splurge was eating out at Burger King and renting a video. A 5-star Vegas hotel? Forget it. I bungee jumped the lobby 5 or 6 times, did the water slide, snowboarded the artificial ski slope, and played virtual reality, laser tag, and FBI sharpshooter. I saw Grover a few times, going from game to game. He really liked the reverse hunter thing, where the deer go out and shoot the rednecks. I saw Annabeth playing trivia games and other brainiac stuff. They had this huge 3D sim game where you build your own city and you could actually see the holographic buildings rise on the display board. I didn't think much of it, but Annabeth loved it. I'm not sure when I first realized something was wrong. Probably it was when I noticed the guy standing next to me at VR Sharpshooters. He was about 13, I guess, but his clothes were weird. I thought he was some Elvis impersonator's son. He wore bell bottoms and a red t-shirt with black piping. And his hair was permed and gelled, like a New Jersey girl's on homecoming night. We played a game of sharpshooters together, and he said, "Groovy man, been here 2 weeks and the games keep getting better and better." Groovy? Later, while we were talking, I said something rocked, and he looked at me kind of puzzled, as if he'd never heard the word used that way before. He said his name was Darren, but as soon as I started asking him questions, he got bored with me and started to go back to the computer screen. Now, I will perform my reflection questions. Question 2 from section 1. Describe the setting of one of your performance pieces. The setting I am choosing is from the book Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thieves. It is about the Lotus Casino. The Lotus Casino's lobby is full of games. It has everything you can imagine, from bungee jumping to ski sloping. It even has a water slide and multiple virtual reality games. Some of these are virtual reality laser tag and FBI sharpshooter. It has a reverse hunter game where the deer go out and shoot rednecks. It has trivia games and other brainiac stuff. It even has a huge 3D sim game where you build your own city and you can actually see The holographic buildings rise on the display board. The mood is full of energy, joy, and happiness. It was the place of your dreams. Nobody could rest after seeing this amazing place. Question 3 from section 2. Give some examples of how you used pause and emphasis in your performance. Pause and emphasis really help while performing. Pauses gave effect to the piece. To me, it helped me re-listen to the text, since even in real life, humans pause all the time when they speak. I have given a pause after every comma, full stop, and relevant punctuation mark to create a space so the audience is able to follow the text. For example, in my poem, I've given a long pause at the end, since the poem is about the daily life of a Bengali boy who finds excitement and cherish in mundane moments of life. In my prose, pause has played a great role, especially in crucial moments of the scene, where Keith says the visualization trick worked. Emphasis is a crucial technique to catch the audience's attention, and I have emphasized on all the Bengali words in my poem so the non-Bengalis can at least catch the word. For example, I have emphasized or given stress on Bengali words like Kamcha, which means tower, Buddhi, which means sister-in-law, Kishori Chatterjee, who is the storyteller, Eravat, which is the Indian name for elephant, and so on. Question 4 from section 3. How did you use your voice and body to bring one of your pieces to life? When our voice and body are in sync, they bring out the best in a performance. I have tried to sync my tone with the emotions in the text using my voice. For example, in my prose Unraveled, the word depressed is used. When I say that, I try to make my voice sound all sad and depressed. Likewise, I did the same with actions. I sank back when the character sank back. I also pretended to tackle hug someone as it was said in the text. When Keith says "whoa" after entering the hotel room, I have tried to show the same emotions in my voice using high pitch and happy tone and wide open mouth and eyes to show facial expressions. When Keith shows excitement, I have also tried to show the same excitement in my voice and body gestures. That was my exam for grade 3 Trinity speech and drama.